Well, thank you all for joining. I'll be talking NBA playoffs with the expert Fabricio over here. So we'll be analyzing each team and what have we seen so far regarding key players, their structure, their strategy, and what do you think their predictions or their outcomes for each game will be. So let's begin with Miami. What do you think about Miami? What are the keys? Well, what have you seen so far that has been working well on their side?
Well, Miami is a very strong and physical team, but Riley built this team in a very brilliant way. So they have a player like Bama de Bayo, who's their offensive anchor. He's been phenomenal. He can score, he can drive, he can put very good screens, he can defend, he can rebound also and pass the ball. So he's a really complete player. And Miami's built with Adebayo as a center. They have two veteran leaders, we like Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic.
Mm-hmm.
They have been very clutch, on the playoffs, um, especially against Boston, because Boston in most of the games they are always with a 10 point of advantage, 8 point of advantage, and on the third and fourth quarter, Butler and Dragic they start scoring, and at the end, most of the time, Miami ends winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And also they have very good shooters like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Jay Crowder. They have been shooting the ball amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler Hero scored 37 points
Mm-hmm.
on game five. So it was. I mean, he's been a phenomenal player overall.
Okay. So
And this,
one question. So first of all, you think their key player is Bam Adebayo
yes,
over Jimmy Butler?
I mean Jimmy Butler is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's their leader
Mm-hmm.
with Goran Dragic. But what I'm saying is that Adebayo is their anchor because he's so complete
Mm.
and he's so dominant
Mm.
that
Okay.
no one on Boston can guard him. No one can stop him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying that like he's
Okay.
the key player on this series.
Okay. Cool. So that's clear on Miami side. What about Boston? What do you think about Boston? Right now they're down on the series. Overall, we have seen that probably they have more depth on their squad, but Miami has been able to take advantage overall of their team strength. As you said, they're more physical, they play tougher, and probably Boston haven't got used to that yet.
Yes, I mean Boston is what I like to say is a four-headed monster.
Hmm.
So they have Kemba Walker, who has been playing very well. He has been moving the ball very well and making his teammates better. But he has been shooting the ball. I mean, he has been struggling with his shooting. But on the other hand, you have Marcus Smart, who has been shooting very well. You have Jalen Brown, who, for if you ask me, I think that he's the most underrated player in the NBA right now.
In the NBA, in all
Yes,
NBA, well, we're not
in all
talking in
NBA.
Boston, we're not talking about the series, in all
Yeah,
NBA.
uh,
Okay.
if you talk about, I mean, my opinion is that he's the most underrated player in the whole NBA with
Hmm.
Goran Dragic both.
Okay.
Um, Brown, he has been improving year by year, and this year hasn't been the exception. He's been phenomenal on the playoff, phenomenal. He can shoot the ball, he can drive, he can defend, he can do almost anything, and he's been very consistent also. And you have Jason Tatum, who's an all-star. I have him as my top three player in the playoff.
Hmm.
He's been phenomenal, and he's only 22 years old.
Okay.
So
So and in on Boston side, is Jason Tatum their best player, their most important player?
yes, yeah, of course,
Okay.
yeah, yes. Jason Tatum is their best player, and also, and I think that the issue for Boston is that no one has been able to stop Adebayo
Mm.
because you don't. you don't have a player with the size, with the weight, and with the lateral speed
Mm-hmm.
to guard Adebayo. The other on game four, I saw Grant. No, on game three, I saw Grant Williams. He did a really good job guarding Adebayo,
Mm-hmm.
but he hasn't been getting the minutes
Mm-hmm.
like to show it. So yeah, and Boston won the last game yesterday, but I think that Miami is going to win the series.
The series. Okay. So if Boston has a chance, if Boston wants to win, what do they need to do to change? What do they need to change in order to win against Miami?
They need to close games
Mm.
because most of the games they have been playing with an advantage,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, in the last quarter, they lose that advantage because they cannot guard Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic on the last quarter. So what I think is that they need to use their experience. I know that they are very young players, like Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, but they have a playoff experience,
Mm.
so they have to do it. And Kemba Walker needs to step up and take the ball and just dominate.
Mm.
He has
Okay.
to be more dominant on the last quarter.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So you're saying that Boston needs to be able to find a way to stop Adebayo. That's number one. And then second, on the fourth quarter, they need to be more physical. They need to be able to close the game because that's where Miami has been able to take advantage and being able to win the game at the end, right?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
great. All right, so that's on the east side. Let's go now to the west. We have Lakers versus Denver. Lakers, if are 3-1 right now. They're playing at this moment when we're doing this recording. So, what do you think about this series? Let's start with Denver. What do you think about the strategy, the way they're playing? They have only one game. So, what do they need to do to change if they want to win the series? If they, there are less chances, but uh, what do you think?
Well, Denver has a phenomenal coach in Malone.
Hmm.
They have a complete player, an all-around big man, a true unicorn on Nikola Jokic. He has been amazing on the playoff, and what's important is that he gives whatever his team needs from him. So he can pass, he can score, he can rebound, but he needs to improve his defense. He
Mm,
needs to put more energy
mm,
on the defensive end. But you know that he's an amazing player. He's very clutch. That's the most important thing, is that at the end of the game, when
mhm.
you really need him, he's there.
Okay.
And also, on the other hand, you have Jamal Murray, who we all know that he's been on fire.
Mm,
So
yeah.
he can score you 50 points any night because he can drive, he can shoot, he can pass. He's been little. What Denver needs is that they need more from the other players.
Mm,
Jeremy Grant has been scoring on the last two games, so that's a good thing. But they need more from
mm.
the other players.
I see. All
That's,
right. So
yeah,
basically, Jokic and Murray has done most of the job, but if you want to face the Lakers, which probably are the favorites to win it all, you need more than that. Okay, I see. I see what you're saying.
yes,
Okay,
completely.
okay, cool. Now, what about the Lakers? We have the favorites on the West, and maybe obviously they will be the favorites if they go into the finals. What do you think about them?
Exactly. Well, Lakers is LeBron James' team. Um, what can I say about LeBron? He's the best leader on and off the court. He can do it all. That's why he's considered one of the greatest of all time. And now, if you assume the fact that he's playing alongside Anthony Davis, who I have as my top one player on the playoff, he's been the most dominant player in the playoff. Um, his impact on the game can be matched. He has the highest winning shares of
Mm-hmm.
the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the most important thing is that Davis is so dominant on the offensive side. but he's also the most dominant on the defensive side. So
Mm.
Denver hasn't been able to stop Davis.
Mm. Okay.
That's that, and also you
And
have the two great superstar,
uh-huh.
and you have a player like Ray John Rondo who's been playing amazing also from
Mm-hmm.
the bench, but he could be a starter or on any team of the NBA. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. So for you, okay, number one player in the playoffs, it's Anthony Davis. It's not
Yes.
LeBron. It's not okay. Interesting, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see the numbers. Clearly, he's been unstoppable, as you say, on defensively, offensively. You mentioned as well that Denver hasn't found a way to stop Davis, and you mentioned that that is the key of the series as of now, and also the fact that Denver. Um, their role players also hasn't been able to get on the level that they need to match the Lakers, right?
Exactly. Yes. And yeah, I mean the role players from the Lakers have outplayed the role players of the Denver Nuggets.
Mm, okay.
Yes, and if you assume the fact that you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, there's nothing much that you can do if you don't get
Mm,
what you need from your role players.
okay, I understand. So you're saying that NBA Finals. Let's talk about what should happen next. You think that Miami should move forward, and then also the Lakers. So that should be the NBA Finals.
Yes, I think that
If that happens, which is very likely, what do you think the outcome will be? How the NBA Finals will look like?
it's going to be uh, difficult for both teams. I think that it's going to be probably a series that will take us to the game seven.
Oh, oh, interesting, interesting.
Yes,
Because usually game seven is because both teams are very well matched, right? If you go to game seven, it's because there wasn't a clear winner, maybe, and especially now in the bubble where you don't have the home court advantage. It's basically who plays better wins. It's not like who were the first seed, they have home court advantage, and that maybe can help you if you're not playing well. So now it's completely even. So you're saying that Miami will is capable of matching the Lakers at least on a possible NBA final.
I'm 100% sure. Yeah,
Interesting.
I
That's
have the Lakers on seven.
mhm,
That's what I have. I
okay.
have the Lakers on seven, but I think that the key component of this series would be uh, the shooters of Miami, because if they are able to score a lot using the 3-point shot, the Lakers are going to have a hard time. Yeah,
Mm,
but I have the Lakers on seven. Yeah.
Lakers will say interesting. So thank you, Fabrizio, for sharing all your expertise. We'll be doing more of this after each NBA final game. So um, pay attention to that. And for now, we'll leave you up to this. So please subscribe. Let us know in your comments, and we'll be uploading new videos for the NBA finals. So thank you all, guys, and see you on the next one.